Hey y'all, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make 3 different Halloween treats. I want to show you how to make witch fingers, Halloween cupcakes, and crispy rice Monster Crunch candy. Yes, 3 things, 1 video, so stay tuned and I will show you how to make all 3. Alright y'all, now I know that my sound is probably just a little bit different. I'm not in my craft room, I'm in the kitchen. But anyway, for our first treat, what you're going to need some chocolate chips. I'm using this kind. This is the big 23 ounce bag. So I just took this whole bag and dumped it into the bowl. Now we're going to take 2 tablespoons of oil, whatever type of oil you want to use. Some people use coconut oil. This is just vegetable oil. And I use that when I'm melting down chocolate. Why do I do that? It helps to thin it out just a little bit so it's not all clumpy. Anyway, we're just going to give this a really good stir. And then we're going to put this in the microwave it 30-second intervals until it starts to melt. After every 30 seconds, you want to stir it around, put it back in, melt it down. Be careful so that you don't burn it because chocolate can burn and clump up. That's kind of why we put the oil in there. Oil helps with that a little bit too. So I want to go throw this in the microwave and melt it down. All right, so our chocolate is nice and melty. Look at that, good stuff. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put in 4 cups of like a crisp rice cereal. This is Rice Krispies. Hashtag not sponsored. We're just going to dump that in there and then mix it all around. Make sure you get everything all mixed together. It's going to take you a few minutes. Just make sure it is all mixed together. So I'm going to keep on stirring until it is fully incorporated. This is all nicely incorporated, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to put this on a cookie sheet that I have covered with parchment paper. Just scrape it all on there. Scrape it down. All right. Throw that in the sink. Wash dishes as you go, and then we're just going to spread it out. Just try to get it fairly even. All right, so this is all nicely spread out. Now, before we go on to the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this in the freezer. I'm going to let it cool down. I'm going to let it solidify a little bit, and then we will come back and we're going to decorate it a little bit. Alrighty, so I have that in the freezer, and it won't take long for it to cool down. So now what we're going to be using, candy melts. I'm going to be using the colors Vibrant Green and Lavender. So you put these in a bowl and you're going to melt them. I melt my English, Amber, what is it? I melt mine at 20-second intervals, and these aren't like going to melt and spread out, okay? They're only going to spread out once you stir them. So I'm going to put these in the microwave, 20-second intervals, stir, stir, stir. And before I do that, because I want this to be able to be drizzled, I'm going to do the same thing like I did a while ago with our chocolate chips. I'm just adding in a little bit of vegetable oil here. And then we're going to give that a good stir and go put it in the microwave, melt them, and I'll be back. All right, so this is pretty much the correct consistency. See how smooth that is? And now what you're going to need is a piping bag, or you can use a Ziploc bag for this if you want to. I have a piping bag, and I'm going to show you how I load these things. So let's set my bowl over there. This is just a drinking glass. I take this, I just set it down inside the glass like so. Just kind of press it down in there, fold it over like that. It holds it open. And now we're going to put this in there. I'm not going to be using a tip on this at all because I'm just going to barely be drizzling it, okay? So whatever I do with this purple kind, we're also going to do with the green, all right? Put that in the sink. Let's move this out of the way. Here is this. Let's get our trusty kitchen scissors here. And what we're going to do is just barely cut off the end. I'm going to cut it over here so that I don't get that little piece of plastic there. So you just press it down like so. And then we're just going to drizzle it all over our chocolate mixture. You know what? I need to cut a little bit more off of that. Let's cut a little bit more. There we go. All right, that should work now. There we go. See? Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. And like I said, when I'm done with this purple, I'm going to do the same thing with the green, okay? Same thing. All right, that's looking good. All right, I'm gonna do the green and I'll be back. All right, so now we got a lot of purple and green on there right now. And now we're gonna put on some sprinkles. I know it's a lot of sugar, just a tiny little piece of this is plenty. And I'm gonna be using fancy sprinkles. This is the Necromancer mix. Now, fancy sprinkles is for the modern baker. These big, huge containers, just a little goes a long way. And they have so many different mixes, not only for Halloween, but also for other holidays as well. You see the little skull there? It's so cute. And look at all the little stars and things. But anyway, if you will look down in the description box, I'm going to have a link to fancy sprinkles. Just head on over there and take a look. Oh my gosh. Once you start using this stuff, you fall in love with it. You really do. See, let's take a look. They have the edible glitter, all kinds of awesome baking supplies. But yeah, isn't that cute? And there's like little ghosts right there. And look at the little shimmery ones. So anyway, I'm just going to spread that over. Okay. And now we're going to set that to the side. And now we are going to take some of this prism powder. This is the fine edible glitter. And yes, I know I've got it all over the lid because I've already used it several times. But anyway, how pretty is that? And I'm just going to take that and just tap, 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 tap. A little bit of this stuff will do you. It just adds a little bit of a sheen. It makes things so pretty. And it's really pretty when you start into your Halloween drinks. I'll tell you that. So anyway, let's just sprinkle some of this over it. I love this stuff. All right. And they have a bunch of different colors. And they're mixes for all the different holidays. I think I've already said that. So now, let's pick it up and take a look. Isn't that pretty? I really don't think the camera's picking up on the shimmer here, but so pretty. Now we're going to let this cool down completely. And we'll throw it back in the freezer for a little bit and cut it into bars. And it is ready to serve. And here's our chocolate. Can you see how shimmery that is? I know the camera really does not do this justice, but yeah, look at the shimmer on that. All right, y'all, treat number 2. This is another super easy one. And for that, you're going to need, once again, the Candy Melts in Vibrant Green. I'm going to be putting them in this red plastic cup. And yes, I have 2 together. But anyway, you need to melt enough of these so that you can dip your pretzel sticks in. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. So I am just filling up this cup like so. Once again, we are going to melt this in the microwave in 20-second increments. Stir, 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 20 more seconds. And it tells you how to do this on the package, okay? And I'm not really going to thin this down because we're going to be dipping pretzels. And I found that the consistency that they are right out of the package after you melt them is pretty good for that. All right, so I'm going to melt it and I'll be back. All right, so it is all melted and we are going to be using these pretzel rods. So then you're just going to take one of these and we're going to take our green mess here and just kind of swirl it around. I don't coat the whole entire thing, you know, so that you can hold this part and eat it. But just put it in there, spin it around, draw it back out. And then we're going to lay it down on our parchment paper. We're going to do a whole bunch of those, all right? All right, these have not set up yet. So now what we're going to use, these toasted and sliced almonds. I got the toasted kind because, as you can see, they have like this dingy sort of color to them. Whereas if they haven't been toasted, then they're just white. And I don't think a witch's nails would look white. So anyway, you're just going to take one of these and carefully place it and just press it down a little bit. And the Candy Melts, that's going to hold it in place. Let's flip this over because you don't want the skin to show. And you know what? Whoa. And I didn't stir up the green all the way. I noticed that there was like a few little blobs in it. And I think that that looks really good for the witch fingers. If you stir, like the Candy Melts, if you stir them kind of quickly, sometimes you'll get those little blobs in it. And I think that just looks so good for like the witch fingers because it looks like warts and whatnot. All right, so we have that. All right, so now I'm just going to take this little tiny fork and we're just going to put some little lines in it to kind of look like, you know, the creases on a knuckle. Like so. Let's wipe that off a little bit. I had a blob on it. Like so. And now we're going to let these set up. And here are our witchy fingers. Now you see how the little lumps in the candy melts actually work to our favor because it looks like warts. Now, if you melt down your candy melts and they are like silky smooth and you want little bumps in them, stir something in. You know, you can get sprinkles, you know, just stir some sprinkles in, like the big chunky sprinkles, like that are in the fancy sprinkles. You see like the round things, you know, just pull a few of those out, stir it in, and you'll get warts. But anyway, I think they turned out really awesome. All right, y'all, we are moving on to treat number 3, and now we are going to be making some cupcakes. So what do I have in these bowls? I made a basic vanilla cake, and then I divided the batter between 2 bowls, and then I colored it with gel food coloring. Now, the cake, it doesn't matter what kind of cake you use with this, as long as it's light colored. I just use a basic white cake, you know, use egg whites instead of whole eggs, clear vanilla instead of brown, just to get the cake as white as possible so that my colors will be as vibrant as possible. And I believe the recipe I used, it's just one off the top of my head. Anyway, it's designed to make 2 8-inch rounds, and then just divided that in half. But let's talk food coloring. So as far as food coloring, when I'm making stuff like this, I always use gel icing colors. Why? Because it only takes just a tiny little bit to give you these really bright, vibrant colors, and it's not going to water down your recipe like, you know, liquid, you know, like in the squeeze bottles, the liquid food coloring. But anyway, this is what I use. You can get this at Walmart, Joann's, any place that carries cake decorating supplies. So now that we have our cake batter here, I have it colored, we're going to start scooping it out and putting it into our cupcake tin. All right, here's our trusty pan. And these are the cupcake liners that I use. I got these at Walmart. How cute is that? I use these. And I just kind of spread them around. But now what we're going to do is we're going to use our cookie scoop here. And we're going to put a scoop of orange and a scoop of green in each cup. So we're going to do one color at a time. I'm going to try to not drizzle this everywhere. I absolutely hate when I get batter on my cake pan. I hate it. And we're going to do that for each and every single one. Okay, now that we have the orange in there and it has settled a little bit, now we are going to do the same thing with the green. Just layer it right on top of the orange. And usually, because this is like a standard size muffin tin, usually 2 of these is enough to fill up your little cup here. 2 scoops. Here we go. Now we're just going to do that on each and every single one once again. Alrighty, so I have all of my batter in there, and I'm going to clean up any little drop or smudge or anything that I have on my pan. See, one right there. I don't like it. Anyway, I'm going to clean that off, and then I'm going to throw these in the oven. I'm going to bake it according to the recipe. And they'll come back after they've cooled, and we're going to decorate them. All right, my cupcakes are done. They're over there cooling down. So anyway, now once again with the candy melts, this time in orange. So what I've done, I've put just a little bit in a bowl, and once again, I'm going to add just a little bit of vegetable oil to that because I need this to be of a thinner consistency so that I can pipe it out of a bag, okay? So we're going to throw this in the microwave, 20-second intervals, just stirring it until it is fully melted and smooth. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to make a few little decorations to go on top of the cupcake. All right. So once again, this is a pretty good consistency. And we're going to be using the piping bags again right here. So let's get our drinking glass. And then I'm going to put the bag down in there like I did a while ago. Why am I showing this again? Well, because I'm going to edit this video down later. I'll have it on TikTok and Instagram, TV, and all that. So yes, I'm showing it again. So now we're just going to dump this into our bag. All right, throw that in the sink. Then we're going to take it out and cut off the end. Okay, So I have my bag here loaded. Now, when you're doing stuff like this, if you're using, I need to put more here, but if you're using parchment paper, take a little bit of water and throw it down on your surface before you put your parchment paper down. See right here, and it'll hold it in place and won't slide around on you. But anyway, we're just going to take this and the scissors and just barely cut the tip off of it like that. And now all that we're going to do is just take this and just make little swirlies. Just little swirlies, just little decorative doohickeys. Just like so. Because all these are going to be, it's just like little extras, and I do this quite a lot just to put on top of your cupcake. All these little swirlies here. And I'm going to do that all over the parchment paper until I run out of my candy melt. All right, so before this sets up, we're going to be using some of this orange prism powder, once again from Fancy Sprinkles. This is the Carnelian Orange. So I'm just going to open this up, and we're just going to shake a little bit on there. Or you can take a paintbrush, a clean, brand new paintbrush, and once these have hardened up and settled, you can just paint it on like that if you want to. I like to just sprinkle it on like this. Then once they're dry, you can just pick them up and shake off the excess. That's the way I like to do it. But you know, like I said, you can brush it on with a paintbrush if you want to. It'll work either way. All right, so now let's decorate that. And I'm going to wait and let these harden, and then we're going to come back and we are going to frost our cupcakes. All right, cupcakes are cooled and we are ready to frost it. This is just buttercream frosting that I colored once again with this Kelly green icing color, and I'm using a 6B star tip. That's kind of like my favorite size for frosting cupcakes. And now I'm just going to frost these. Just put a big old blob right there. Then we'll go around. Whoop, boink. All right, now I'm going to frost the others. All right. Now I'll go back and I'll frost all the others later. But anyway, for the sprinkles, we're going to be using the Fancy Sprinkles, once again in the Necromancer set. So let's get this open. And we're just going to sprinkle some on. I just stuck my finger in the frosting. But that's the good thing about making cupcakes. You can lick off all the frosting. Sprinkle that on. Sprinkle it on. And I'm going to do that with this one and all the others. All right, so now we're just going to take a cupcake, and this is one of our little sprinkly, just decorative doohickeys that we made a while ago. We're just going to stick it on top like that. It just gives a little extra something, you know, instead of like just frosting and sprinkles. You know, just a little bit of something. There we are. And now we're going to do it with the other one. All right, those cupcakes are ready to go, and I'll get a better picture for y'all here in a little bit. But anyway, let's open one of these up and see what they look like, you know, because we did the orange and the green. So anyway, we're going to open it up, and that's what they look like. Two-tone. But anyway, let me get a better picture of these for y'all, and they'll be done. All right, I'm at a better angle, and now you can see what they look like. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed all three of these. If you would, give this video a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media, the links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I hope to see y'all next time. Bye!